And welcome back to part 25 of Final Fantasy 15. Today we're finally heading to Altissia. You know, it's been advancing the plot. It's only been 4 parts since we last did anything with the plot. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to go to the top of the lighthouse. If you click on the lift button, it will only say to go on your way to the hidden harbour, which is beneath us, and then onto the royal vessel, and then on our way to Altissia. I'm not going to be able to say too much for like the first half of this part because there's a lot of cutscenes and a lot of important talking that I don't want to talk over. So this is kind of the only chance I get. This and a little section after a cutscene coming up. Anyway, we've got one last write-up we get to do with Lunafreya before we'll finally be meeting her in Altissia. So we're just about to set sail. Let's be a bit professional and calm about it. There you go. Deliver that to Luna for us, Umbra. Thank you. And now it will go down to the hidden harbour. Well, once as the lift slowly takes us down to it. Oh, I never really mentioned it, but you've seen me do it a number of times during the Let's Play. There is a first-person mode that was added into this game, I think at some point during Royal Edition, where if you push in both the analog sticks, so L3 and R3, or just left stick and right stick if you're on Xbox, you will go into first person and then back out of it again. There are some points in the game where you're not allowed to do first person, but there are a number of parts in the game when you're exploring the open world especially where you can go first person, which is quite nice. Hi Iris. I'm gonna miss you, Iris. I really am. There's another note over here to read and then we can talk to Core, but we've got a cutscene coming up, so I'm gonna have to shut up again.
Something I gotta get off my chest.
What's that?
I'm sorry. Sorry I wasn't there for your father. I swore an oath to protect the king, but I wasn't strong enough to uphold it.
Ain't nothing nobody could have done to stop what happened.
Yeah. I realize that.
But you need to realize just what you mean to the boys by your side.
I do.
Even if they can't solve your problems, you can't hide what's going on from them. It hurts like hell. Remember, those ain't your bodyguards. They're your brothers. Trust in them, always.
I do appreciate that we get that little bit of extra character on Core, because he's just too much treated as this immortal badass, and you get like a little glimmer of it in episode Gladiolus, but you get a much stronger one here, that he is holding some guilt in the back of his mind that he couldn't do enough to protect Noxus's father, King Regis, before his death. He feels partly responsible as to what happened. But down here there are a few people to talk to and a few things to do, but when you're ready, come over here to the boat and click on it, and you'll be taken off. I think I'll just go looking around quickly because there is something over here. Don't worry, this isn't the last time we'll be seeing the hidden harbour. We'll be seeing it again quite a ways away from now, but we will be seeing it again. But now we help on that boat and we're gonna have even more cutscenes, so yay!
Hey, Your Majesty!
What's up?
Please, come back soon! We need our king!
Yeah. Count on it.
I shouldn't really complain really about all these cutscenes that are going to come in, big or small, because they are important, so I want to show them all. But it's also the fact that I've been doing so much talking in the past few parts that my throat is slowly but surely giving out and all this. I don't know how other Let's Players can do it, like 5 uploads a day, like the fucking madmen. because I just can't keep up. My throat suffers with this. Like I said, there's a few more photos to take. Your scripted one is the one with all the group together, and there's also another scripted one, which is the last of the pile, which is looking back on Iris and Talcott. One last time. I'm gonna miss Iris. It won't be the last time we see of her as well, but in the main adventure, it's the last time we see of her, which is a bit, Anyway, we got a lot of talking going on, so I'm gonna have to shut up again. So I'll see you guys in a bit.
The wedding day arrives, but alas, without the bride. Of course, we've come for the Hydrian, and you've gone to such lengths to prepare.
Merely my duty.
Ah, but for an outsider to lead the Imperial army must be a battle in and of itself. You've spoken to Lady Lunafreya.
No.
That obstinate secretary, standing in the way, while you rush off to slay the Hydrian for your poor sister's sake. I know the price of the Covenant.
You know, I've always wanted to go sailing like this.
Not many opportunities living in Insomnia.
Out here, it's just us and the horizon. It's amazing. It's life-changing.
We've quite a ways to go until we reach Altissia, so keep gushing to your heart's content.
When we step off the boat, we'll be in a foreign country.
The anticipation alone is a foreign sensation.
Then to think this is where we were headed to begin with.
We've been through a lot.
And there's still more to come.
So next on the docket is Leviathan.
What sort of deity are we dealing with?
A serpent said to embody the roar and rage of the sea.
We'll have to see for ourselves.
Can't let Lady Lunafreya do all the heavy lifting. You must be so psyched to see her.
Luna?
Yeah.
Well, we need to make sure she's all right before anything else.
Indeed, her well-being is top priority.
Don't like this going down on Imperial turf.
You think Lady Lunafreya's in danger there?
The Empire did invade Lucis for the ring. I have no faith their ruthless ambitions will stop short of harming the Oracle.
Without the ring, the crystal's no more than a rock.
I suppose. Does anyone know how Lady Lunafreya came to have the ring?
It seems likely His Majesty entrusted it to her safekeeping back at the Crown City.
So she's held onto it this whole time, all the way to Altissia.
The ring is important, and so is Leviathan. But Luna comes first.
You know, I was thinking back to our encounter with Ravus. Do you recall an apparatus in place of his arm?
Yeah, I remember.
Seems he lost his old one in the invasion, but in its place, he seems to have acquired new power.
Power?
That would help explain how a son of Tenebrae suddenly came to command Niflheim's army.
Now that you mention it, his strength did seem sort of supernatural. I just chalked it up to the Oracle lineage.
His ancestry may be part of it, but that alone wouldn't account for his freakish strength.
I wonder what could have happened to him.
There's a disturbing rumor about Lord Ravus has taken to brandishing His Majesty's sword.
My dad's.
Then what's the big idea behind that?
That his power's the same as the power of kings?
I cannot say for sure, but I have my doubts. Ravus wears the sword, but doesn't wield it.
For all his newfound powers, he's still the Chancellor's lapdog, holding on to the enemy king's sword like some badge of honor.
It might help if we knew what he was after.
Who can say?
What are the odds the Empire will crash the pool party with Leviathan?
Consider it a guarantee. They felled a god to prevent Noct from receiving his blessing. And they'll do so again.
But we beat him to the big guy, thanks to our friendly guide.
Never know which way that one's gonna move next.
The Chancellor has an agenda all his own.
Sometimes it helps, like when he called off his army and let us escape.
But he was still a creep about it.
Well, feels like he's only helping us because he wants something. I just don't know what.
Reckon we'll see him again?
Certainly hope not.
Not your type?
No love lost for phonies.
As Gladio said, his actions are motivated not by altruism, but by self-interest. And when he does come to our aid, I see only condescension in his eyes.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Ever think you think too much?
Sometimes, but it's always preferable to the alternative.
So, soon you'll have your old man's ring back.
Yeah, when we arrive in Altissia.
Good thing. To him, it was his heritage.
Is that what my dad said?
Carrying a royal line ain't a task to be taken lightly. For a small thing, that ring can sure weigh heavy. After he became king, I only ever saw his face in the paper.
Wait, weren't you at the coronation?
No, I was long gone from the city.
Must have been invited at least.
Had a falling out of sorts with your old man. Right at the end of the trip.
You did?
I was given to understand you stayed in touch.
We buried the hatchet years later, but never talked face to face again. Should have paid a visit while I had the chance. Well, no use dwelling on it now. Got the regalia in the hold, but y'all gonna stay in Altissia for a good while, right?
Yes, we believe so.
In that case, I'll tune her up for y'all. Not that I'll have much to do, though. Well, with Cindy looking after the old girl.
If you say she's good, she must be great.
She was never afraid of hard work. Heaven knows she had a hard childhood.
A hard childhood.
He means her parents.
Lost them both when she was little. Was big enough to understand, though. And to hurt. But you wouldn't guess that, seeing her now.
Not at all. She's always so cheerful.
Well, that ought to tell you how far she's come.
Well, you must have seen your fair share of Altissia by now.
Yeah, only done been the once. Stayed a good while, though.
What's it like?
Big old city.
Big. Okay.
Well, it ain't the crown city.
Different. Got it.
You'll see for yourself. Foreign lands seldom lend themselves to trite explanations.
Change of scenery ought to do you good.
Well, I'm all talked out. Can't be far to Altissia now, right?
We'll be there in no time. Nice having the wind at our backs.
Lodgings are our first order of business.
All work and no play?
Make Cygnus a dull boy.
Someone has to babysit you two.
You're welcome to sleep in a while.
Ain't no hotel, but I know a fella has a place.
Hey now.
Wescombe ran with Reggie and me way back when.
Oh, was he the other one in that photo with the garage?
Yep, runs himself a diner or a cafe or something. Go and see for yourselves.
Sure.
Does the place have a name?
McGee or Magoo or Mago, that's the one.
Nice.
You can count on Old West, but he'll chew your ears off.
The government issued a statement promising that the reasons behind awakening the Hydrian would be clarified in the ceremonial address.
Got a signal.
Delivering the address will be Lady Lunafreya, who was previously reported dead. This will mark her first public appearance since the violence that befell the signing ceremony.
Lady Lunafreya's gonna give a speech?
Sounds like it.
Lord knows. This world could use some wisdom.
Won't be much longer now, Noct.
Yeah.
Does this vessel have an entry permit?
Entry permit?
Relax. I got one. Here.
That's as old as they get. Seems in order. You may pass.
Prepared in advance.
Could say that. 30-odd years ago.
That's what the guy meant by old.
Lucky us, huh?
That could have ended badly.
And that, welcome to Altissia, a very Venice-inspired looking city, but with waterfall effects as well, and much cleaner water. I say that, but Venice isn't the first thing I think of when I see this city. The first thing I think of is actually Spagonia from Sonic Unleashed. And it's mostly to do with the music being very similar between the two. But this little cutscene here is to introduce the idea that you can traverse the waves now at any time you feel like. This is something that was added in the Royal Edition, being able to get in the boat and drive it around freely. However, we won't be doing it because it doesn't make sense in the plot for us to do it right now.
Not even an awful driver like Reggie could sink her.
But as Sid mentioned during the ride, our first priority should be going to find Wescombe, the fourth member of King Regis' original team when he went out exploring. Because it was Regis, Gladio's father, Sid, and Wescombe. That was King Regis' exploring team. That was Regis' Brotherhood boy band road trip crew back in his heyday. Similar to now we have Noct, Gladio, Iggy, and Prompto. But anyway, we've been given the key, so probably in post-game I'll show it off. You can explore the waves and find a bunch of little secrets and whatnot out and about. You can also get some pretty cool pictures like going out and exploring. But it won't even let you do it now until you do just enough plot stuff. But as we advance forward, we'll have to pass a gatekeeper who asks us why we're here. You can rely on either Sid and he will give you an answer, or rely on Ignis and he'll give you a different answer. I rely on Ignis because I have more faith in Iggy than Sid. Sid's a grumpy old man, he'd probably give a really moody reason, I fear, so I asked Iggy.
Utterly hopeless.
Alright, thanks
We
Iggy.
are scholars of the culinary arts, and we've come to study the renowned cuisine of your fair nation.
So I like how quick Iggy is to respond though. It's like he immediately had something in mind and it was food. He's the head chef in the kitchen, so of course it would be food first. But as you advance forward, the camera and by plot proxy the game will kind of fight you a little bit before you get stopped and they say, should we check out Wescombe's place?
Yeah, let's all go to Mago.
Perhaps we'll even make it in time for tea.
And we'd better start looking now.
Wescombe's place is not too hard to find. It's a little out of the way, but it's perfectly easy to find. You just go hop on the boat ride and find it round. And here's the explanation that you get around purely by gondolas. No two sections of the cities are quite connected as easily as they should be. Like there are bridges holding them all together, but there's like one out of the way loose bridge here and there sort of thing. Also, as you walk past here, they'll talk about Lady Lunafreya's wedding dress, which I think I make a priority of going to before going to Wescombe. But I can't remember because I recorded this part quite a while ago.
Oh, could that be the dress we read about in the papers?
Doubtless. The designer's name is the same.
Want to check it out?
That depends on the groom. Might still be a sore spot. What with his wedding getting called off?
Who says we can't call it back on? It can still happen.
Yeah, I agree with Prompto. Once we're on the other side of all this destiny and fate shit, why not bring that wedding back on? It's not like anything bad's going to happen. At all.
Hello, boys. Feel free to browse.
It's not like we're only on chapter 9 and there's like a lot more chapters to go yet.
Thank you very
And we also flat broke because once again, only really did the hunts that I showed off in like the first couple parts. As it hit the yellow path, and the blue path, and the purple path are all gondola routes. The blue and purple ones are for linear routes that take you to separate sections that are the only ways to get to those sections through the gondolas. The yellow one are just shortcuts around the block, essentially. The sole exception, I think, being getting to actual Wescombe's bit. I don't think there's a way of getting that doesn't require the gondolas. But first we need to go check out that dress that everyone's talking about, see what Lady Lunafreya's wedding dress, if the wedding was to happen, would have looked like. Which is rather annoyingly, if you bring it up on the side quest, it doesn't tell you where it is in Altissia, but you can find your way around by just looking around at what people are talking about. If you linger around the area, you'll find people talking about the dress, and if they're talking about the dress, you're on the right path. when you go over here, it's just to your right, I believe. Like, I looked left first, but it's on your right.
The prince isn't completely forgotten.
It's down here with all the people crowding round.
One hell of a crowd.
On my blind playthrough, I actually completely missed this.
My word.
But it is
Everyone looks so
a very lovely dress. A symbol of hope, maybe, for the people.
Yeah. Real glad for you that Lady Lunafreya is safe and sound.
Don't jinx it, Prompto.
Well, that settles it. You gotta make it happen. Because peace.
Yeah, if they make all that effort to make a really nice dress, you might as well, you know, actually get married.
Yeah. I'll think
I always thought it was a bit weird with the dresses that have like the finger thing. Like you can see it on the hand where it's like the silk goes up towards and around the finger.
So what next?
Like, I guess that's supposed to be like a connection of like the wholesomeness, or like of the collection of the hope. I don't know, but it's just it's just not my thing personally. I'm not sure like on the purpose of it, but I'm not the most wedding focused. I think this is now when I actually head over and talk to Wescombe. We got a few things afterwards to show off, like the arena and like taking photos, really, and that's about it. But this is a nice area, even if it is like easy to lose where you're supposed to be sometimes.
Have a look at gondola.
Care for a ride?
Yeah, I'll get on if you don't sing like that ever again. But we're heading down. There's a part in the bottom right corner you're looking for. There. Oh, it also says Margu on it, it's just in case. And you can take the boat ride on it. This boat ride I keep in, but every boat ride in the future I skip, just because it saves the hassle. And I'm very aware of how long some of the parts in this Let's Play are, so if I can keep this length of them down just a little bit, I'd prefer it. Because the way I've been working it on the Let's Play is that every time I start recording, there's a point in the game that I want to reach, and once I've reached that point, that's when I'll say, okay, that'll be a part. And then I'll make adjustments, like sometimes I'll say, okay, that'll be a part, and I'll look at it and I go, hang on a minute, this is like an hour and a half. So I have to work it out and split it apart respectively and whatnot. But then there are other times where I'll end up doing two back to back and making it one part, because the one objective I had ended up only being about 10-15 minutes. Like, this is a perfect example actually, because I was supposed to meet Wescombe here and do that, and that was going to be one part, and then exploring the rest of Lestalem was going to make the next part. But I looked at the length and looked at the length, and I was like, I could probably put them together and get away with it, so that's what I did. But we get a chance to ask Wescombe a bunch of questions. And yes, your ears are not deceiving you. It is the same voice actor as the guy who voices Lee Everett from the Walking Dead game. Which is pretty cool. It's good to see him getting around a bit. He's an enjoyable voice. It's very easy to recognise though. That's the thing with some voice actors. Like, some voice actors, it doesn't matter what they do, you kind of just recognise the voice immediately. Like Yuri Lowenthal. Like if you hear Yuri on anything, you know it's Yuri. You hear Liam O'Brien in something, you know it's Liam O'Brien. That sort of thing. Or for more of the more mainstream voice actors, like Nolan North or Troy Baker, you can recognise it's one of those two very quickly nowadays, because they're in everything. Yeah, and there's the reveal that we didn't already know because of the cutscene. That Ravis is in the city somewhere. Probably preparing for the Hydrian to make her appearance. The Hydrian known as the Leviathan. The next deity we're trying to reclaim the power from.
You really think Luna will make an address?
If every recent radio broadcast is to be trusted.
She does make an address. We won't be seeing it this part, but she does.
In the city somewhere. But no one has caught so much as a glimpse of her. The media has been conspicuous in its silence on the matter.
Yeah, it's almost like the media turned around and just assumed both Noct and Luna are both dead, and then suddenly both of them are not dead, and now the media's like, ah, shit. It's like, ah, now what are we going to do about this? You know, let's just keep everything quiet and only talk when we need to, because we scared the whole world into thinking like the only two symbols of hope are both dead.
But word is the government will soon open the altar of the Tide Mother. In preparation.
And so, yeah, her alternate name is the Tide Mother for the Leviathan, which is way too humble and nice of a name, Tide Mother, for how monstrous and feisty Leviathan almost always is in every Final Fantasy game. Leviathan's never like a symbol of peace or a symbol of like, kindness. It's always a feisty fucker who wants to eat everyone.
My dear Camellia, it's been a while.
I heard
Oh, hey, Camellia.
Distinguished guests.
This is a less than nice lady, but she's
I won't waste your time.
essentially like a political prime minister of the area, as Ignis stated.
We have Lady Lunafreya in our care. And the Empire demands we surrender her. What? Yet I am loath to acquiesce unless we stand to profit. Hence I've come to discuss terms. With the king.
Essentially, she wants to essentially pass off Lunafreya
Come to my estate.
to us, so then the Empire get off her back. So she's doing it kind of for selfish reasons, but it does end up helping us.
But I assure you, her heart is in the right place.
Her heart is in the right place, but she's still not someone I'd necessarily get along with and or trust if I met someone like her in real life. She's that kind of person.
For now, and ponder matters anew in the morning.
Yeah, I think we'll do just that.
And the next objective it asks you to do is go to the royal suite to sleep, or head to Delaville even. Which, to be fair, the Levill has one very, very important thing about it. There's 2 rest points in it. One of them's a more normal rest point that gives you an experience boost of 1.5 and costs a little bit of money. That isn't too bad. But the other one is a 3 times experience booster, but it's 30,000 gil to use it. The ultimate strategy for power leveling and grinding late game, like once you're in post game and whatnot, if you want to hit the level cap or start tackling the super bosses. Get a mountain ton of experience however way you see fit. There's loads of different ways. Most of them involve making Expericasts magic. Use the hell out of it, and then once you've got like 400,000 or 500,000 experience points, instead of resting, come all the way here, get the 3 times bonus. And Gentiana will be here waiting for us to explain that you can break the rules of time travel and travel back in time to a point where you can explore the main overworld again if you wish to. So if there's little things you wanted to go back and do, you can, but they make no plot sense whatsoever, so we won't be. Also, we can now use the royal vessel to travel the ocean if we choose to. We won't be doing so on both accounts because, like I said, it will kind of break the pace of the plot and what we're trying to do, so we won't be. But this is the 3 times one. On the guy on the right, he'll ask for 30,000 gil. But instead, if you go on the guy on the left, you've got to see that I'm flat broke because I don't have enough money. Look, I'm 10 gil short of getting it, so I have to go quickly sell something, which is what I cut to me doing. But me looking through and saying, okay, what don't I need? I don't need 2 bronze bangles. Okay, that'll do. Thankfully, pretty much every rest point after this point in the game are free, so you don't have to worry about it. But it was quite funny that I got all this way and said, okay, go rest. Oh, you don't have enough money to rest.
Greetings.
And there's no camp for you to go rest at. This is the only rest in Altissia. But now we get some time to look at what photos we've taken along our way. That's a lovely one.
This one's pretty good.
On the approach.
I dig it too.
With Gladdy, the wedding dress. That's a scripted photo if you do the side quest. If you don't do the side quest, you miss it. And I think the first photo is a scripted photo as well, but I might be wrong on that. I'm not 100%. Oh, it gets the eyes on the boat in the back, in like the back left of that picture. That is a cool one. I will save that one.
Well taken.
As we're now on our 100th photo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
We're not quite done with this part yet, because the things I wanted to show that I was eventually going to make a separate part is only 7 minutes long, so I'd keep it in one video.
Oh, I heard there's a solid photo spot nearby. Mind if we check it out?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's go.
Do you see that, Noct?
What is it?
Adam Crosdale, what happened? Like, he severely fell out of accents with his Ignis voice in that. I was like, do you see that, Nox? That was just Adam Crosdale. That wasn't Ignis. What happened there? How did that one slide through? But I always shut up. I wanted to shut up for that line just because it's the delivery of it. It's like, do you see that, Nox? It's like, that's not Ignis. That's not Ignis in his royal like tone. That's just Adam Crosdale being Adam Crosdale. But anyway, up here is where you can get your picture taken for Prompto's little side quest. There's another one once you hop on the gondola, so it kind of lines up that we're here, because this gondola takes you to takes us along the shore to like the upper deck where the plaza is, and that's the photo he took, which is quite nice. So I save it.
The gang's all here, see? Up.
So there's a blue one that'll take us up here to the plaza-ish area. I think it's called the plaza. We'll find out when we get there.
That does seem like overkill.
This one's a straight line, so yeah. I think this one I skip because it's just a straight line. You've seen it now, even if the view is very nice of all the waterfalls and whatnot. Yeah, I just skipped the ride. But anyway, now we're in the plaza. There are a few little things we can do here. Take a picture. Look at the Bismarck statue here. Because no, it's not just a random narwhal. No, it's a Bismarck. It's a mythical being that's not too common, but common enough in the Final Fantasy franchise.
Hold on a sec. I was hoping to get a picture.
Yeah, let's go get a picture at the statue, because that's what Prompto's really asking. And then after that, we get to show off the arena, which I don't mess with too much because I'm not that good at working out what enemy will win the bets and the odds, or getting lucky with it. But I'll still show it off a little bit.
Good call. Now it's picture time.
So we're going to have to sit through the same little cutscene again, of Prompto setting up the camera, and then walking over to us. There it is. But they play the same cutscene every time, just it's a different background. Like they might as well have a green screen behind him. And that's the picture, which is pretty cool, so I'll save that as well, even if it's got some rando walling around in the background. And this shop is to buy whistles, or horns even, to help you in the arena, because you can get certain horns at certain points during it you can blow on to help boost the monster you bet on in one way or another, to help give you a better chance. So that's essentially how the arena works as we wait on our travel here, because this boat ride you can't skip for some reason.
Breeze feels good.
Indeed.
You have to, essentially, there will be 2, 3 or 4 different groups of enemies that will be in an arena. You bet on which one you think will win when they all start fighting. If you bet correctly, you win more of like the arena's specific currency. If you lose that bet. You can get horns that will give that at certain random points in the fight you can use to boost certain attributes of some of them, like a madness horn that make them more aggressive but less defensive, or a healing horn, the one that Noxus starts with, that you always have an infinite amount, that will give them a slight health boost. The reason why you want to do it is because there's unique rewards tied to the arena's system that aren't in the that you can't buy normally. With medals, they call the unique currency here. And if you're trying to get the better rewards, like if you're trying to max out the car, which is the highest reward, that generator at the top there, you're going to be here for a very long time, because look how many medals it asks you to get. And buying them only fixes so much. You can get the Big Bang skin for your car though as well, which is pretty neat. The Big Bang was a very special piece of artwork made for the collector's edition of Final Fantasy 15 when it first came out. It's also what you can use in the Royal Edition, I believe. I believe it's a reversible cover, it's the Big Bang cover, which is very sweet. And so now it says your odds there. The higher it is, the more they're stacked against you. And it also says the condition. Keep the condition in mind. Just because an enemy wins all the time, usually, if they're knackered, they're not going to be fighting as well. And you're going to see me stay here until I win one. This first one I lose because I always go for the harsher rod if I can get away with it. But I completely forgot, or at least didn't really pay attention to, what he was against. Which is an enemy that's a lot more ferocious than what we have. So he just gets his ass kicked, unfortunately. And if you match circle there, that's how you blow the horn to use it to get the extra health boost. But unfortunately it's not enough and he gets massacred and we lose. So now I have to buy more medals, since we burnt all of them on the thing. When you start getting good with it and getting consistent with it, you can do max bets because there is a betting limit every time, and then just persevere onwards until you eventually get what you need. But it's quite expensive to buy medals, which is why you need to work more on wagering them. Also, there is a time limit. If it ends on a draw because we ran out of time, they won't give it to you. They won't turn around and just say, well, you survived, so here you go. They'll just count it as a loss and you'll lose your earnings. They have to actually win the encounter for it to work. Some of them you do end up kind of standing around a little bit, like waiting for them to do something, but they always get their acting gear eventually. The enemies that have the green circles around them are the ones that we're betting on this time. And our main threat might be that crab, but thankfully it's down. So now we just have to deal with the giant scorpion enemy over here. Which this scorpion manages to take out like half the herd before we take it down. Let's see that he took one down there. Which unfortunately was just too... We were just too late to be able to blow the horn. So we didn't get to heal it and keep it alive a little bit. And then right here, look, it kills both of them. So there's only one-on-one left. So at this point I was like, please don't lose this one as well. But thankfully he doesn't and we win it. And so on that victory, I'm going to call this a part. So, next time on Final Fantasy 15, we're going to have that talk with the Senate. Even though she's not, she's like the first whatever. She's not that important, that's the thing I'm getting at. And finally have our encounter with the Leviathan. But until then, you guys take care now.